Monday. So we are going to continue our skip counting adventure this week, but just like last week, each day we're adding a new element and growing our skills and tackling a new challenge. So last week we were counting with ones and tens. Let's see what our new skip counting adventure is today. So second grade, our learning target for Monday is I can skip count up to 1,000 using tens and hundreds. So we have two brand new changes going on today. First up, we are going to count all the way to 1,000 starting today. Last week, we only went up to 200, but now we get to go all the way up to 1,000. And last week, like I just said, we were counting with our ones and our tens. But today we're introducing a brand new counting value, and that is our hundreds. So today we are skip counting with tens and hundreds all the way up to 1,000. And just like last week, how our skip counting skills kept building on each other, that's the same this week. So you want to make sure you are an awesome master of Monday skip counting, so you can do awesome on Tuesday, so then you can do fabulous on Wednesday. That's what I love about learning. It all builds into each other as we keep growing. So, in this brand new challenge that we are tackling today in math, we are going to be introduced to a brand new vocabulary word. As we're getting bigger and bigger numbers, we are having to work with a lot more value, a lot more digits, and it can start to get pretty confusing. So we want to have a tool in our mental math toolbox that's going to make us stop and check in with ourselves as we're counting from point A to point B. So our new tool that we are going to be using is called Benchmark Numbers. Can you say this with me? Benchmark. Look, we have a ch and an r. We have benchmark numbers. So a benchmark number is a simple place to stop and check. So when we're getting with all these big valued numbers, we want to have places where we can stop and evaluate and check in if the path we're going on is the quickest route. So these benchmark numbers usually come as we're stopping and trying to figure out when we need to switch between values. So last week, when we needed to switch between counting by the ones and the tens, and today, when we need to switch between counting by tens or by hundreds. Today, we're going to be practicing working towards these benchmark numbers and understanding the good places for us to stop and check along our skip counting route. So these are some examples of benchmark numbers. So for example, tens numbers are nice, simple tens, are like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 40. All of these numbers are nice and simple. They only have value in the tens place. So they make a really awesome benchmark number, a place for us to pause and check if we need to switch up our game plan or keep going. Also example of hundreds numbers that are benchmark numbers, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. These numbers only have value in our hundreds place, and they are also awesome spots for us to check and count. Do we need to switch our plan or keep it going? So today, along with skip counting a brand new way, we are going to be identifying and looking for benchmark numbers to use as a tool when we're skip counting. So, are you ready to get started? Let's have a whiteboard out today, just like always, but we have our first challenge that we're going to work on. So we have 90, and we're going to count to 300. So right now we have 90, but we want to get to 300. So how exactly are we going to do that? Okay, let's do it all together. So can you write 90 in a box to make sure you've indicated that that's our starting point? So, what do we want to do? Do we want to count with our tens or our hundreds? What do we want to try first? Let's count with our tens first. Count with our tens. And why I think we should start with our tens is, look where we're starting. A nice 90 number. 9 tenths. It's a good tens number, and I want to keep it going. So, we have 90, and I want us to add a 10. Let's see what we get. So we're going to add 1 10, and what number would that be? 9 tens to 10 tens, which is 100. Good job. Would you look at that? I'm going to underline 100 because this is a benchmark number. It has only value in one place, and it's a really good spot for us to simply see and check where we're at. So I want you to underline 100 to indicate that it's a benchmark number. So we're at 100, we're pausing. Do we want to keep counting by tens, or do we want to switch up our plan? Take a look. We're at 100, and we want to get to 300. What would be the quickest way to get there? Counting by hundreds. That is going to get the quickest way to get there. So let's see how quick. So now, Super Scholars, only the hundreds place is going to be changing. So right now we have 100. If we add another 100, what are we going to get? 200, and then 300. There we go. We got 300 just like we wanted. And that was such a quick path that we were able to count with tens and hundreds. So I want you to count with me. How many tens did we count? Here we go. 110. How many hundreds did we count? 100, 200. So this time we counted 110 and 2 hundreds. Good job. Counting how many tens and hundreds we use is super, super important, and it's really going to help us when we're working with word problems down the road. So that step of counting what we did is super important. So let's reset. Let's try our second way. We've got another way to solve this problem. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we started counting by tens. What can we try counting by first this time? It's not tens. Let's start with hundreds. Let's try counting with our hundreds and see what path that takes us on. So, right now, we have no hundreds. There's no hundreds here. All we have are tens. So if we're going to add 100 to 90, what are we going to get? 90, we want to add 100. We're going to have 190. Our tens place is going to stay the same because all we were adding was 100. And we can see that with the 1 in the hundreds place. Okay, let's see. What if we add another 100? What would we get? We would get 290. Our hundreds place went up. 100 to 200. Can we add another 100? Can we add another 100? Is that possible? Is this correct? No, that's not correct because we are going to go way past where we need to get to. So, 290. What do we need to do to get to 300? What do we need to change about our plan? 290 to 300. What can we count by? We can count by tens. So let's see. If we add a 10 to 290, what are we going to get? We're just going to go up 10, and we will have 300. 290 is just one less than 300. So really quickly, we were able to get where we needed to go. So exactly what you did. Can you hop with me? So how many hundreds did we count? 100, 200. How many tens? 110. That was the exact same thing as last time. 2 hundreds, 110. Awesome job, Super Scholars. So, I think you're ready for another one. Let's all reset. Are you ready for another food-themed this or that? Because I am. So stand up and be ready to pick your answer. This or that. Would you rather eat chips? If so, you're going to move side to side. Or would you rather eat French fries? If so, you're going to move front and back. This one's really, really hard for me, but we got to pick one. What would you rather choose? I'm going to choose chips because I feel like there's more options with chips. So I'm going to move side to side. 5 seconds. Everybody ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. I tried to go a little faster in there. So, nice job moving your body. Okay, let's tackle another one. So we currently have 170. We have 107 tens. But we want to get to 500. We have 5 hundreds. So, how exactly are we going to do that? Let's really quickly show what we have. We have 170, 107 tenths. So, we want to get all the way to 500. How do you think we should try it first? What do you think we should try? Let's start with our tens. Again, starting with our tens. So, I'm thinking we need to start with our tens because we're at 7 tenths. We are so close to getting to a benchmark number. So let's count by tens, and we're going to figure out what benchmark number we're so close to being at. Okay, so right now we have 7 tens. If I add one more 10, we're going to have 180, add another 10, 190, we add another 10, what do we get? 200, good job. So we went from 9 tens to 200s. And look at that. Is 200 a benchmark number? Is this a nice simple hundreds that only has value in one place? Yes, it is. This is a perfect example of a benchmark number where we want to stop and pause and check in with ourselves. Okay, so at 200, what will be the quickest way to get to 500? Do I want to keep counting by tens or do I want to switch? What's the quickest way to get there? We want to switch to counting by hundreds. Right now we have 200s, but we want 500s. So we want to switch our game plan. So I'm getting out my purple marker as we switch to counting by hundreds. So right now we have 200s. If we add 100, what are we going to get? We're going to get 300s, and then another one, 400s, and another one, what do we get? 500s. We reached our goal, 500s. And we used a benchmark number of 200s to check in with ourselves and figure out that we needed to switch from counting by tens to counting by hundreds. Okay, if you have your finger or a marker or a little pointer out, I want you to hop with me so we can count exactly what we did. So, how many tens did we count? Let's see. 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens. How many hundreds did we count? 100, 200, 300. So this was an even skip counting. 3 tens and 300s. Good job. Okay, can we reset and try it our second way? We tried our second way, reset, reset. I gotta really scrub this purple. Okay. So the second way is gonna be just as quick. It's gonna be 3 tens and 3 hundreds, but we're gonna go on a slightly different path. So let's start with our hundreds this time. I'm gonna erase that. How many hundreds do we currently have? 1. We only have 100. So if we add another, what number will we have? 270. And then another one? 370. Another 100? 470. So our hundreds place was increasing each time. Can we add another 100? Can we add another 100? Will that work? No, because we'd add up with 570. And all we need to get to is 500. So, Super Scholars, what should our new game plan be? If we know we can't add another 100, what do we need to do instead to get from 470 to 500? We need to count by the tens, of course. That's going to be our quickest way. So, right now we have 7 tens. We got 7 tens. So if I add a 10, we're going to have 480, and then 490. Ooh, though. Careful, we've got a 90. What comes after a 90 number? We're going to have 500. There we go. 490. If you add a 10, we get 500. And would you look at that? We can see we have 3 hundreds and 3 tens by my fancy different colors. Okay, awesome job skip counting. These can go a lot faster when we're using our bigs hundreds value. So reset, let's go. Okay, last one. We're gonna do one way together and then you're gonna work on the other way yourself. So this last one, we have 500 and we want 830. So how are we gonna do that? First off, let's mark what we got. We have 500, 5 hundreds, and we want 8 hundreds and 3 tenths. Look at this beautiful number. It looks like a benchmark number. We've only got value in one place. So if I just have a lovely 5 hundredths, what way do I want to try and start skip counting that will probably be the simplest way? What do we think? We're going to start skip counting with hundreds. If we've already got a hundreds number, we need to keep it up. So, right now we have 5 hundredths. So if we add 100, that 5 is going to change. So can we add 100? What would we get? 6 hundredths. And then 700 and 800. Good job. Our hundreds plates went up each time. Do we want to add another 100? No, this is a good place to stop and check. If we added another 100, we would have 9 hundredths, and that's past where we need to get to. So 800 is going to be our pause place, our benchmark number, where we can ask our question. How do we want to skip count by now? How are we going to get from 800 to 830? What do we want to do? We want to count by tens. Look, we have 0 tens. We want 3 tens. So we know the quickest way. Okay, I'm going to add a 10. My number is going to be 800, 10, and then 820 and 830. 30. There we go. We've got 800s and 3 tens, just like we wanted. So, important part, we got to count what we counted. Can you do this with me? How many hundreds? 100, 200, 300s. How many tens? 1 10, 2 10, 3 tens. This was another even one. We had 300s and 3 tens. Awesome job counting this one way by starting with our hundreds. Can we figure out a second possible way? Let's all reset and see what that could be. Here we go, erase, erase. Reset. Awesome job. Okay, so now this is the time where you're gonna practice on your own. And you're gonna start counting with the tens and see the quickest route to get there. You're gonna start with the tens and figure out when do I need to switch to the hundreds to get to 830. So you're gonna pause the video, try it out on your own, and then come back to check once you've completed and you know it's the quickest route. Okay, we're starting with the tens. Here we go. So, how'd it go? Did you get the same thing? 3 tens? 300s? So 530 was our switching place. Okay, can we all count together? Can we skip count? Here we go. 510, 520, 530, 630, 730, 830. Ding, ding, ding. There we go. I know this is a lot of skip counting, but we're doing it a slightly different way each time, so we can eventually be able to skip count from any two numbers using any value and being able to do it automatically in our heads. That's our big, big goal. And in order to get there, we've got to practice quite a lot. So, we've done a great job with those 4 challenges. Now you're going to tackle 2 of them on your own. Okay, so here are the 2 for you. Everyone is going to skip count these different sets. So in your video, you're going to explain how to skip count from first 350 to 600, and then you're going to skip count from 600 to 710. So you're going to do 2 rounds of skip count, 350 to 600 and 600 to 710s. You have the choice how you want to do this. You can draw, you can write it out, or you can skip count in your head. Wherever you feel you are the most confident and can do your best work. But everyone's going to skip count both of these. You only need to skip count them one way. You don't need to do both ways, but if you want to challenge yourself, go right ahead. So you're going to do 1 and 2, both of these skip counting tasks in your video so I can see how you're building up your skip counting skills. Make sure you're really awesome today at working with the hundreds so you can be super ready for tomorrow. Let's go tackle another day of our skip counting adventures, and here we go!